Automotive news. Today we've got a good story about a guy who bought a Mustang, had a Roush supercharger installed on it, and then the dealer took it out and smashed it up. And there's been a lot of back and forth with the dealer whether or not he's getting made whole on the deal, whether he's getting his money back for the whole situation. The Drive even made an article about this situation. So basically, you can check it out on his Facebook page. That's where we're at right now. And you can see that it's got a lot of traction. It's got about 2,100 likes, 189 comments, 1,800 shares. So a lot of people are looking at this. And I guess at the end of the day, it looks like he's still upset. Otherwise, he would just erase all of this and it would be fine. But he's left it up because he doesn't feel like the back and forth with the dealership was satisfactory. So essentially what he did, he bought a new Mustang, had a supercharger installed, and then they took it out. It looks like he had 266 miles on it. And then he's updating this post letting you know what's going on. And basically they reached out and they said, we wrecked your car, and one of the guys, the mechanics, took it out and wrecked it on the interstate. It looked like he wrecked the crap out of it, and actually said that the mechanic was cited. So the guy got a ticket for careless driving, and it says that he was actually fired. But as you can see, it looks like it almost looks like they hit a telephone pole. So there's the engine. The engine's actually, it looks like it's pushed back. It's all messed up. It's totaled. The whole car's totaled. It's when you have a high impact. If you ever watch those crash videos, you can watch the undercar of the crash video. I watched that the other day, and you can see how the structure of the frame and all the things connected to the frame, they get bent and pushed up. I mean, it's terrible. The car will never be the same after that. But hey, I like the black on black with the PP2 wheels. And maybe this was a PP2 car, a manual transmission. He put a Roush blower on it, but slick looking car, and they wrecked the crap out of it. And it says that they didn't do a good job. So you can read the whole back and forth. Mark Grage or however you pronounce that. And so 21020, 21220, then he updated. So basically, after talking to him, he said he was happy about it. But then, they tried to make it sound like he got a free car out of the deal. But he didn't. He's still paying for it. So I think what he did, he paid the car off, but then in order for the Ford dealership to pay him back for the price that he paid for the car, it took a few days. Apparently they talked to Power Nation. They did a story on it, and the Drive.com did a story on it. You can go read those as well. And he's pissed off because, the Ford dealership tried to make it sound like they did him a favor when they really didn't do him that much of a favor. And on top of that, they probably didn't make him feel good on the front end. So he's probably just trying to defend himself and say, hey man, I gave you guys my service, and I put my baby in your hands and you messed it up, and I want you to compensate me for it, and he could probably do a lawsuit unless he couldn't, and this is why he's making a post. But at the end of the day, no one wants to feel, essentially it's not about the money. It's feeling like you got taken advantage of. And I totally understand that. And especially when someone goes over here and says this thing, and then they go over here and says that thing. But at the end of the day, it sounds like he bought a Shelby modified 2016 off the used lot there with the money that he got back. So he probably saved some money at the end of the day, but this is a hell of a headache to go through. And very frustrating, and especially all the back and forth after you give them your brand new car, and especially if they're talking behind your back, essentially. So you can read the rest of the story on thedrive.com, but what do you guys think? Do you think that they should compensate him for this? What do you think is the right thing to do in this situation? Should they? So I think bare minimum they should, completely make him whole. Everything, any money that he put into this, the the purchase price of the car, the labor cost of the installation, the taxes, obviously, any of the and here's also what happens. Look, bad stuff just happens sometimes, and this is just a bad situation. So stuff happens, right? Life happens. Should the dealership be held responsible because of life happens? And then how and to what extent? So I think that they should make him whole, make sure he gets his money back, and then on top of that, help him get his next transaction for the next car done, and give him a super deal on the next car at cost. He should be able to get cars at cost from that dealership. If not, he can take his business elsewhere. But if he wants to, if I was running the dealership, I would make sure that he was satisfied, unless it was unreasonable. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below. Obviously, this has gotten a lot of traction. So what is the right thing to do in this situation? Hopefully they take care of this guy. Stay tuned for the latest Mustang and automotive news. Let me know in the comment section what you think.